it is my pleasure to call on stage the companies which chair the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition. The renewable energy company Ørsted and leading electrolyzer manufacturer Nel Hydrogen, today represented respectively by Ulrik Stridbak, Senior Vice President Ørsted, and Håkon Volldal, President and CEO. Please come on stage. Thank you for your keynote and a reaction on the statement of Ursula von der Leyen.
Thank you very much, Francois, and welcome all. I'm going to read here because we have agreed to dance a little tango, Håkon and I, which is also very well reflective of how well we have worked together over the past year. But first of all, thank you to the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, that we just heard for their introductory remarks. I think they were very, very forceful, but also underlying the importance of the business that we are gathered around here in the room. It is clear that she sees renewable energy, renewable hydrogen as a key pillar also in the newly announced Clean Industrial Deal, which is shifting the focus, but it is the same thing that we gotta do. So on behalf of the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition and behalf of Nel and Ørsted, as this year's co-chairs, I would like to welcome you all to this Renewable Hydrogen Coalition Summit 2024. Thank you both to the Impact Hub members and the supporting community of the coalition for all the engagement. Thank you to Wind Europe, to Solar Power Europe, Breakthrough Energy, and last but not least, of course, the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition team itself for all the phenomenal work that you've done.
Thank you, Ulrik. I wanted to freestyle as well, but there were so many great points made by my public affairs person that I was told not to do it. And also I have no self-editing mechanism and no filters, so I should go with the script. First part is reflect on, the achievements and also the challenges during this last year and also the last term of the Commission. Because as we approach the close of both 2024 and the current EU Commission's term, I think it's fair to take a step back and say that it has been an extremely turbulent 5 years, starting with the COVID-19 pandemic that hit us in 2020. Strongly impacted our daily lives, but also supply chains and price shocks. The EU had to deal with that. Once that was sort of under control, Putin decided to invade Ukraine, which ultimately led to an energy crisis in Europe, whose effects are still lingering in Europe until today. And this has also, maybe on the positive side, sparked a formidable shift to renewables, away from fossil fuels and over to renewables and cleaner energy. If we look at what we have accomplished, the Commission President mentioned the EU Green Deal, which implied that we got the Fit for 55 regulation and the Renewable Energy Directive, encompassed many good proposals, directly or indirectly supporting renewable energy build-out. We got demand-side targets, we got funding mechanisms in place, and all of this package was just finalized. As the President pointed out, the national implementation of the Renewable Energy Directive is a game changer, unlocking demand for renewable hydrogen and electrolyzers. That's why the Commission, therefore, needs to ensure that the member states follow through on the implementation of these targets. So on the policy side, good things. This is a foundation we have, which the US does not have. That sets Europe apart. The other positive thing that happened was the hydrogen bank. We got the auction. The first round was a test bed, and what we set as a target in the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition was to accomplish two things. One was to get more security for European OEMs. Why? Because there's no level playing field. If there's a competition, everyone should play by the same rules. With the latest rules for the second hydrogen auction, we have accomplished that. So check on the local content requirements, not because we don't want to compete with China, but we want to compete with China on equal terms. So that was a massive win, I think, for the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition, heavily impacted by us. On a personal level, I mentioned this in a meeting with DG Comp 12 or 18 months ago, and I was laughed at when I brought up that point. It will never, ever happen, they said. Well, it has happened. So kudos to us for doing the work. The second thing, thank you. The second thing we wanted to accomplish, which we, in all honesty, have not accomplished, is the accumulation of funding across the different programs. And that's extremely important. We have to continue to work on that. I'll get back to the priorities, but as we pass on the torch to the next leadership, I hope that we still have the ambition to allow projects to accumulate funding across programs.
I think it went a little bit off script.
I did, yes,
but in
sorry.
a very good way, a very convincing way. Yeah. On that note, though, however, of course, as we all know, there are still significant challenges. There is inflation driving costs at a really, really bad timing. We have a still too big a cost gap that we have to solve through industrialization, through scale. We have to reduce costs to be this convincing alternative in the clean deal. We have to unlock the demand. We have to create the market for RF and BOs, as we all know. We must say today that the intention was good, the measurements, the mechanisms were good, but it has been too sluggish. It has not created the ramp up that we need still. Even if we heard some very, very good news from the president. And I guess at the end of the day, it is also a matter of respecting the insight that we all gain, not least about the phenomenal amount of moving parts that has to come together from delivering the renewable energy in one end to having someone actually buy the hydrogen and the right fuels in the other, and us somewhere in between, getting it all in place. And one way of putting it is, of course, that the supply side complains about the lack of demand, and the demand side complains about the lack of supply. So I guess at the end of the day, we can conclude now as an objective fact that the European hydrogen strategy's target for 2024 of 6 gigawatt that cannot be reached, that will not be reached. But very, very promising news about the FIDs that are now being taken, as we heard from President von der Leyen. And it is those positive signs, it is those, is that momentum that we will now have to build on.
And when we talk about the momentum, I think it's fair to say that the momentum around hydrogen isn't as high as we would have liked to. We went from extreme optimism 2 years ago to maybe extreme pessimism lately during the last few months. Whereas in reality, we might be in the middle. And I think it's important that we are somewhere rooted in the middle and also in a reality that we firmly need to accept. So while we are not progressing as fast as we would have liked to, there's reason for optimism. And the next EU mandate has a unique chance to secure future-proof jobs, industrial growth, and a resilient clean tech sector. But this requires urgent, bold action, and we must stay the course. Now more than ever, it's important that Europe puts on the yellow jersey and races ahead. We can build a competitive European renewable hydrogen industry, but we can't give up now, even though times are a bit tough. The Renewable Hydrogen Coalition has set specific and clear priorities for the incoming Commission in its manifesto, and I want to highlight three priorities. The first one is around simpler, bigger, and faster funding. Of course, we always want the money, but it's fair. If we were to build all the oil platforms, the pipelines, the trucks, the engines, and fund it all in a decade, of course, diesel and gasoline would be much more expensive as well. And that's what we're trying to do on the hydrogen side. We need support to achieve what we have set out to do. So the EU needs to ensure sufficient funding. They should continue to use the Hydrogen Bank as an instrument, refine that instrument and make it accessible and prop it up with more funding. We can't stop with the second auction, we need more auctions. And by expanding the budget of the auctions and also providing EU-backed loan guarantees, we can ensure competitiveness in Europe. The second priority is around ambitious and binding 2040 targets. Why is that important, you might say? We haven't even reached the 2030 targets. Well, it's important to continue to set the direction for the future. It's important to drive companies towards a future where we replace fossil fuels with renewable energy and hydrogen. We need that in order to convince the financial community and investors to invest into hydrogen and continue to do so. So that's the next step, the progression from 2030 to 2040. Set these targets. And last, the third priority, roll out fit-for-purpose electricity and hydrogen infrastructure. We need more renewable power. We need to speed up permissions, we need to make it simpler to build out the energy, and we need to deliver it, because without that energy, there's no hydrogen.
And you are supposed to start the conclusion.
That's right. So coming to the conclusion, I want to pay tribute once more to the work that has been done by the European Commission over the past years. I think we've never had such a supportive commission that we've had. The fact that the president actually takes time off a very busy schedule these days, where there are lots of other things than hydrogen on our mind, is a testament to the importance of hydrogen. The Commission has shown itself to be a front-runner in promoting renewable hydrogen. Change isn't easy. It takes a lot of boldness from all of us. Rest assured, we will work tirelessly over the coming years to forge progress in developing a renewable hydrogen value chain, making renewable hydrogen competitive and making it easy. This is our job, and this is our commitment as industry. We call on all actors in the European Union to stay the course and continue to be frontrunners, and we will be running the distance together with them.
The time to act is now. That is the mood. It is the mood in Europe. It is the mood geopolitically. The upcoming Commission's work will be absolutely decisive for the success of the Fit for 55 package, for the transformation of our energy-intensive industry using renewable energy and hydrogen, all while maintaining and enhancing Europe's competitiveness. That is also our responsibility as industry to play our role in that. Both in the sectors that are to be transformed and among us delivering. Together, as a Renewable Hydrogen Coalition, we can secure a sustainable and resilient future for Europe. Congratulations again to the team. as well as to the supporting community for the work that has been done over the year. There is a lot more to be done. And on that note, it is time for that. We don't have an envelope to be opened, but it is time to pass on the baton.
Baton, yes, not the torch, but the baton. Gold-plated, should be green. Anyway, we would like to welcome on stage our successors from EDP, Chief Hydrogen Officer of Renewables, Anna Quelhas, and joining us maybe on the screen, the Chief Executive Officer of Power2X at Topsoe, Kim Hedegaard. They will lead the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition from January 2025. So with that, I pass the baton to you, Anna.
Thank you.
And I rest assured it will be safe in your hands with your leadership.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I think Kim will start with some words. Hello, Kim.
Good afternoon, Anna. Good afternoon, everybody. So first of all, thank you for the handover of the baton, and Håkon, obviously we agree it should have been green and not golden. Maybe Anna, our first task is to color the baton green for the next handover. Apart from that, thank you very much for the trust in Anna and me. We are overly excited with this opportunity to represent a very important institution and a very important coalition. We believe that the work that has been done so far has been remarkable, and we are committed to continuing the work that has been done so far. With the beginning of a new political mandate, now more than ever, we need to advocate for ambitious policies and financial support that will foster the growth of the nascent European renewable hydrogen industry. In this increasingly volatile global environment, marked by threats of deindustrialization and skepticism around the hydrogen value chain and its ability to deliver on the 2030 goals, the Hydrogen Coalition must remain strong and a united voice behind the right solution for a resilient and competitive Europe. Our joint vision for the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition over the next 18 months is clear. We want to boost competitiveness and we want to close the funding gap. We are committed to securing the necessary resources and support to accelerate the deployment of renewable hydrogen across Europe and to ensure that the new selected EU Commission takes the steps into tangible progress. Decarbonization and competitiveness must go hand in hand. We stand ready to help achieve this delicate balance. Recognizing the vital role of renewable hydrogen in decarbonization is just the beginning. Now we need to ensure that this recognition is matched with increased funding and final investment decisions. Our immediate focus will be on advocating for solutions to bring renewable hydrogen closer to competitiveness for the energy-intensive industries and incentivize adoption. Topsoe and EDP bring a shared vision of complementary expertise across the renewable hydrogen value chain, as well as a geographically balanced presence. With this strong presence and strong partnership, Anna and I, EDP and Topsoe, we look forward to supporting the magnificent work that has been done so far. And again, thank you very much for the trust in us. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, myself and Kim, we didn't practice a tango, so it's going to be difficult to make sure that I don't repeat whatever he said. But first of all, I want to share with you that I'm truly honored to take on this role and continue the work that has been done so far. So I need to start by acknowledging Nel and Ørsted for your leadership in the past months in bringing the Renewable Hydrogen Coalition to the point where we are today, which is really recognized as a leading voice, or maybe I should say the leading voice in Europe when it comes to renewable energy, hydrogen matters. Of course, it's because of your work, because of everybody, our work, that today we are at a point where no one doubts that renewable hydrogen is going to be a critical piece, crucial for the decarbonization. No one has doubt about it. But the fact that it's recognized doesn't mean that we will achieve it. So recognition is not enough. Recognition needs to be matched with sound regulatory framework, with public policies, including public funding, that ultimately will lead to what everybody here is actually awaiting, final investment decisions. So of course, Kim just mentioned that our priority will be focus on making sure that we incentivize demand, especially the demand that truly makes sense, and closing the cost competitiveness gap against the alternatives. Of course, we will not forget what Håkon just mentioned, the need to stack and be able to accumulate public funding, actually coming from EDP. Maybe I can share a little bit more details later. But we have been strongly advocating for that. We truly believe that, for example, having a renewable hydrogen bank instrument that could be the last piece missing for the most mature projects to finally advance was a missed opportunity, because for example, we have 3 IPCEI projects, 3 projects with innovation funds, several projects with secured funding that is by design not enough to close the funding gap. And these projects are well advanced, but still missing money to be competitive against the alternatives. So of course, it's also mentioned that we're going through very turbulent times, a lot of uncertainty and volatile environment globally. So it's today, I guess, more important than ever to stay strong and being a united voice behind, the strong fundamental rights that renewable hydrogen is going to play going forward. Not just as a decarbonization tool, as a decarbonization policy tool, but also as an industrial policy tool, bringing together, more competitive and also resilient, independent Europe. So I count with, of course, each one of you for this role. Together, we have the knowledge. Together, I guess, we have the passion and the commitment to be able to deliver upon this challenge. So thank you very much for your trust and your support. Thank you.